My 2025 Spanish Grand Prix predictions and preview. We are finishing the triple header in Barcelona in Spain, so let's talk about it. What happened last year? Lando Norris lined up in pole position with Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton closely behind him. Lando doesn't get away well, has to block off a rapid Max Verstappen, and he leaves too much space on the outside. Alex Jakes then comes on the commentary and says, "Who is going to be the latest to break?" Through goes George Russell. Probably the highlight, in my books, of the entire race. From fourth on the grid, George goes round the outside of the top two, including his teammate Lewis Hamilton, obtaining the race lead. After 2 laps, he was passed back by Max Verstappen, and that was basically the race. From that point onwards, there wasn't much to write home about. Max held his buffer to Lando Norris. Lando had the quicker car, but couldn't get the win. That was the race. Probably 5 out of 10 in my opinion. Bang average. Nothing that entertaining. However, I am hoping for a banging race this weekend. So earlier this week, we had some news come in about what Christian Horner essentially calls a regulation change. Whether it shakes up the grid or not, nonetheless, it is a massive adjustment for teams, causing them to act swiftly and make major changes to their car. Now, I'm not an aerospace engineer or aerodynamics, guru, and I'm a philosophy major and theology student by trade, but let's give it a go. Let's try and understand this as simply and as effectively as possible. Basically, teams like Red Bull and Ferrari have been complaining about McLaren's flexible bodywork, or flexing bodywork, on both the front and rear wing. Apparently, this added flexibility gives teams that have utilized this aerodynamic structure element of it to gain an added advantage. So cutting back on this advancement will rein in on the extra performance, or unfair performance, in Red Bull's opinion. Will this be like past occurrences, like Mercedes in 2014, where the FIA and the F1 with their regulation changes nerf the dominating team to bring them back down to the field? Well, we'll find out this weekend. Sadly, or not sadly, depending on your opinion, this is the last race in Catalonia. Though in recent years we've had underwhelming races and uneventful ones at that, the track still has a very strong legacy and has been in F1 for many years, far before I was born. It has captured the hearts and minds of many diehard F1 fans. So let's go over its history. In 1986 and 1991, Senna and Mansell had iconic battles here. Michael Schumacher got stuck in 5th gear in 1995 and for most of the race, and was still able to manage it, change his driving style, and come home in 2nd place. Michael Schumacher also claimed his first victory here in a Ferrari in 1996, marking the beginning of his dynasty at the team. Fernando Alonso has also had iconic performances here, particularly in his championship winning days in Renault. Probably the most historic in recent memory, however, is the race here in 2016. Not just because of what it did for the race and the entertainment it brought, but for what it did for the championship and for what it did for the future of F1. This was the race where the Mercedes duo Hamilton and Rosberg collided, causing major team conflict and setting the tone for the rest of the season. And also allowing Max Verstappen to get his first ever race win in a Red Bull in his first ever race for that team. And he was only 18 years old, marking the debut, if you will, of the generational talent of our era. Even though this race has had some lukewarm experiences in probably the past 5 years at least, it will be missed. I hope it has an epic finale. What's replacing it? Well, Madrid, a street circuit with some permanent elements in Spain's capital city. Many have criticized it, saying they're afraid of the layout. It's going to be a boring race with no overtakes. And the worrying part about this is that it's been signed for 10 whole years. The simulation looks crazy, but I don't know if that will actually come to fruition in real life. What do you guys think? Now is prediction time. Who is getting pole? My thoughts for pole, I'm going to give it to Max Verstappen. I think Red Bull will benefit greatly from this flexi wing adjustment, and I believe the Dutchman is going to be rapid in qualifying. Though I do hope that we're going to get another extremely close qualifying session like we've had pretty much all season long. My podium predictions. Third, I'm going to put Oscar Piastri. McLaren will be the L of the weekend, but Oscar will still claw back and manage to be on the podium. In second, I'm going to put the guy I think is going to be in pole, Max Verstappen. The field will be much closer, much closer this week. Track position and strategy will be everything on this track, although I hope it's not just the case. I think Max will have great pace, but I think on one of those things, he'll lose out to someone else. And my race winner, I'm going to go George Russell. He's going to have some vengeance and revenge inside him for last week and what happened there. Feeling a bit hard done by, and he's going to get that satisfying result. He's been knocking on the door this season. He's been there consistently. Mr. Consistent. No longer Mr. Saturday, he's Mr. Sunday now. And I think it's going to be opened this time. Maybe another cheeky overtake on the outside of Max Verstappen in turn 1. We'll find out. He led last year. He will win this year. What do you guys think? Now, for my Jacks on, Jacks off predictions. On Carlos Sainz. The Spaniard will be on fire this week at his home Grand Prix. I predict a top 5 finish at home for him in the Williams, bringing about another great accumulation of points, giving a great send-off for the Spanish Grand Prix here in Barcelona. My off, please don't hate me, Argentinian fans. I'm going to put Franco Colapinto. I like Colapinto, but he hasn't been performing lately, let's be honest. And I worry he'll crash again this weekend. Spain has been known for some notorious first lap incidents, and I think that he could be another product of that. In fact, maybe another cause of a whole big one. We'll find out. What do you guys think? Who are your ons and offs for this week? Finally, my 2 crazy predictions. 1, the flexi wing regulation change is going to nerf McLaren more than people let on. The gap between Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull will be closer than we've seen in probably ever. I believe we will see the first flicker and glimmer of hope that we'll have at least one driver from 3 teams fighting for the championship at the end of the season. That hasn't happened, in my recollection, since 2012. Secondly, we'll get our first big multi-car crash of the season. A notorious lap 1 incident will occur. Hence, my earlier Colapinto prediction. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts on all of these predictions in the comments below. Let me know about the rule changes. What do you think about them? Will McLaren be nerfed? I'll write back to all of your comments and your responses. Please give a like and subscribe. I'm Jack, and you watched Jacked F1.